Truly weird shit is happening in the world right now. And we're about to talk about it. You read the title, right? This is a Hades full moon and some other shit. And I'm about to tell you about that. All right. Welcome, Fire Family, to the Inner Temple. This is your host with the most, Mr. Mark David Meyer, with the fire, here to share ideas and take the collective vibration higher. Our sole intention here is to reconcile all paradox with love and truth. I love you. And this is the astrology breakdown for the week of May 21st up until May 28th. Tuesday to Tuesday, Mars Day with Mark, your favorite astrology podcast. Let's get it, guys. I want to start this video off by talking about the major events that are going to happen this week. Then we're going to do the degree breakdown, which is basically covering the position of the planets right now on the 21st as I'm filming it, and then where they're going to be at the end of the week. And then we're going to go planet by planet and work our way through this. And I really hope you guys enjoy this video and have an interactive experience with the solar system. And remember that you are a star, that you are a solar system, and your bodies are systems or a system for your soul to incarnate, making you a solar system. So as above, so below, so within, so without. I hope you guys see what I'm saying. Leave some flames in the chat if you do, because sight is light, fire, element. All right. So the major things this week. Full moon is busting. Number one, it's crazy. And I'm going to tell you guys about that very soon. We're going to have the sun making its way into Gemini. Truly, it made its way a couple days ago, but sun is bursting out on the scene in Gemini. We've got Venus moving into Gemini this week. We've got Jupiter moving into Gemini this week. So we're going from this Taurus stellium to a Gemini stellium. And some people would say, Mark, it's not a stellium with the sun. I don't give a fuck. You know, that's a stellium in my book. Triple conjunction. What's the function? We'll get into that. And then, we're just going to work our way through the planets. So yeah, that's the major highlights, I believe. So today, let me back. No, that's the same day. Okay, cool. We don't got to back it up. We're going to leave it right here. We got the sun at 1 degree of Gemini. We've got the moon at 13 degrees of Scorpio as I'm doing this recording. And if you are following along, know that this is my local chart. You don't have to pay any attention to the houses because that's going to be different for you, okay? But do follow along with your own chart. Watch and see how the planets hit your placements through conjunction or square, opposition, sextile, trine, etc. Because we all got a different rhythm and timing. So that's the point of this video. We've got Mercury at 8 degrees of Taurus. We've got Venus at 27 Taurus. She's almost out. We've got Mars at 16 Aries. We've got Jupiter hanging out at the last degree of Taurus, 29. Saturn at 18 Pisces. You've got Uranus at 23 Taurus. That'll be hanging out there for a while. Neptune at the final degree of Pisces. Weird shit. I'm telling you guys, some weird shit is happening in the culture. Big things are changing, and it seems like a lot is going to be revealed to us coming pretty soon. We've got Pluto in the sign of Aquarius at 2 degrees retrograde. And let me tell you about the week ahead. We're going to have the sun at 8 degrees of Gemini. The sun moves roughly a degree every single day. And then we'll have our moon in Aquarius at about 16 degrees, give or take. We'll have Mercury at 20 Taurus. We'll have Venus at 6 Gemini. We'll have Mars at 21 Aries, approaching Chiron at 22 Aries. So that's pretty cool, significant. That's worthy of note. And you see Jupiter is going to be in that first degree of Gemini. You got Saturn still at 18. You got Neptune still at 29, plus a couple minutes. Pluto moves back to 1. All right. And we've also got Black Moon Lilith hanging around the 25, 26 degree of Virgo. And that's of note. So let's take our time and get right to it. So just understand that the sun is the center of our solar system. And you probably know that, but it's worth the reminder because all life will revolve around and circulate around this sphere. So not only does the sun give us life and energy and give us happiness. I'm almost about to draw a sun. I really could. Oh, no, that's not it. The sun gives us life and energy, and I'm not about to distract y'all. I mean, that's Gemini energy in a nutshell, guys. Whatever the sun is transiting, whatever constellation it's going to be in front of from a geocentric perspective, we'll be receiving that type of light, that conscious awareness, that information from the universe. Okay. So we just shifted from Taurus to Gemini. This is changing gears. And this, I want you guys to think quite literally like changing gears. If you were driving a car and you were going from a low speed to a high speed and you were to shift, and I'm not too much of like a mechanic or an engineer, but I just know that, you know, your RPMs might be like really high. You know, your car might be working really hard at a lower gear. And then when you go to a higher gear, you can maintain a different speed with less resistance. So that's kind of what I'm seeing as well, is like we go from Taurus to Gemini, earth to air. And in terms of density, air is a lot lighter than earth. So this says that our focus is going to be primarily intellectual for the next month. And you're going to see, with Mercury being the ruling planet of the Gemini sign, things may pick up speed this month. And by the way, we do have Mercury hitting its way through Taurus ever so slowly. So, you know, I don't mean to be confusing, guys. This is like a slow, fast energy. And Gemini is the dual sign, the first dual sign. So this also makes us see a multitude of things at once. And interactivity is going to be a key word. And you'll see that being a theme over the week. And when Gemini becomes a concern, and also the sun being a concern, you're going to see that the Gemini energy is something that we're going to need to feel alive, or to feel happy, or feel fulfilled. Oh my goodness, that was a mouthful. Fulfilled. So the Gemini energy is what? You know, mutable air. It's communicating, it's connecting, it's thinking, it's changing and adapting our ideas and our focus and perspective. So that's what it's about. And, you know, you're going to see a desire to read and learn and speak and share and get involved. And with this being dual, you will see variety being a very big theme this month, where people are going to want to really explore a multitude of options. And that's a beautiful thing. Life is about experience. It's like about the intellectual property, the emotional memory that you get to take from it. So more power to everybody on that journey. I would just remind everybody, be mindful of what your distractions are. You see me looking at the cat? That's not, I mean, it kind of is, it's not a distraction right now. That's family. You know, priorities. You got to know what your values are to know what it is, what is a distraction and what's not, you know? So what I really like about this week is that we kick off the first part of Gemini with the sun in a trine to Pluto. So I'm switching back to purple because it just feels right. We got the Pluto trine the sun, and that's a gift. And the gift is transformation. The gift is evolution. This is going to add a lot of power to our lives, a lot of power to the way that we see ourselves. And when I say our lives, I'm just going to repeat that. This is about an increase in vital force. And that's the thing that we're receiving through this week. So you'll see that kick up on Wednesday too. And this is auspicious, man, because we're really about to bust into this full moon. And that's the next conversation. So in addition, let me tell you about a couple other things that I'm seeing right now. We can actually advance this chart one by one. Let me take off the annotation for Pluto, and let's just go day by day, guys, and watch the sun. So as we kick it off, you know, we got the sun trine Pluto, and we've got Mars in a semi-square. Sun is really close to Venus and Jupiter. And this is an expansive, loving energy, but it is also quite serious in the way that it's going to help us move forward within our own lives too. So, you know, it's important to take yourself seriously as opposed to unserious. Do give a fuck about your life. Remember, you're the one creating it. So ultimately that power comes in the creativity. Your control comes in your ability to reinvent yourself, guys. That's what I'm really receiving from this sun trine Pluto, okay? So as we move through, you know, we'll see the sun separate from that trine, move away from those other conjunctions, and that just kind of is what it is this week. So that's the action with the sun this week. So let's back that ass up. Let's get back to the moon. We got the moon in Scorpio, right? And that's just going to mean that we're in the waxing phase, because, you know, the last lunation, if you don't know, let me let you know. The last lunation we had was the, drum roll please, does somebody know the answer? It was the new moon in Taurus, was it not? You can literally like rewind the moon, check it out. Like Scorpio, go backwards, and the sun would have been in Taurus, the moon would have been in Taurus. Okay. So the full moon after the new moon in Taurus is going to be the sun opposite the moon in Gemini Sagittarius. So that's going to be on Wednesday night or Thursday morning, somewhere in between. So let me just pull the chart really quick. And then you can adjust for your local time as well. So this is going to happen at 3 degrees of Gemini Sagittarius. And, well, maybe it's 2 technically. It's like almost, it's going to be like basically 2 in 50 plus minutes. So you could round it up to 3, but that's really getting so minute that doesn't really matter, in my opinion, and how Gemini. But I digress. So what you're going to see here is a full moon conjunct a lot of people's Plutos. I know a lot of my viewers have Pluto in Sagittarius, so this shit is going to be pretty intense, pretty deep. This is the full Hades moon. I will say that this one will be a little bit more deep personal for the Gemini, the Sagittarius, the Virgo, and then the Pisces, because those are the mutable signs, and that's what's really being activated right now. So what this really talks about, same thing with every full moon, is a release. This is the culmination of the lunar cycle, which takes about 29 days. All right. So over the next 14 days, give or take, about 14 and a half, we're going to see the moon waning and heading back into the new phase. And this happens perpetually, cyclically, and you just want to pay attention because this is the vibe, it's the rhythm, it's the tides. So this is the timing we're on right now, guys. We are letting go of some shit. That's the full moon. And if you've seen the moon, just understand the moon, in addition to being the other luminary and giving us night vision, you know what I mean? In addition to that, this is our internal self. The sun is more the externalized force, the conscious, the will, and that's the father, and this is the mother, essentially. And I'm getting a little symbolic, a little esoteric, but you guys know what I mean. This is real fucking life, all right? Don't get lost in the language. I'm just telling you guys that this moon is our feminine internal energy, and it goes through cycles just like the masculine does, just like all these things do, guys. And I really wish I knew solar fire a little better and took the time to put this in the chart, guys. But the galactic center is somewhere in Sagittarius. I wish I could tell you the degree, guys, but beyond this full moon being in the very beginning of Sag, conjunct the Pluto Sag generation is Pluto, I'm telling you guys that we have our lunar cycle, the lunation cycle. We've got the solar cycle where our Earth goes around the sun. But do you ever think about how our solar system is revolving around the center of our galaxy? And there's a higher order of these things, because there is. And you can see that in the astrology chart. You can calculate this mathematically. You can see this with math, physics, science. So it's nothing pseudo about this shit. This is really real. And I'm just telling you guys, with this being conjunct the galactic center, you're going to really see us releasing a lot of fuckery that doesn't align on a cosmic level. All right. And it's as simple as that. You can take it deeper if you want, but I'm just telling you that's basically the linguistics. All right. So what does Sagittarius represent? A whole lot of shit. And that's a joke. I hope it doesn't go over too many people's heads, man, because Jupiter rules this sign. Sagittarius is mutable fire, and it really talks about how we can change our perspective, how we can travel, how we can formulate vision. And then this is going to lead us to philosophies, higher ideals. And I used to explain it more so like this in my course. Oh, it's still in the course, I should say, but I used to say this a lot to people. I kind of overlook it because I'm evolving my curriculum, but you really want to consider polarity when it comes to learning astrology, and just know that, the dual signs are going to represent polarity, different octaves of the same energy taken to a higher, lower order, So for instance, Aries being the self, and then Libra being the other, self-concept, interpersonal actualization. We've got Taurus being our own needs, and we've got Scorpio being the needs of others, our desires even. And then you got Gemini, and this is going to be how we think, how we perceive. If we go 1, 2, 3, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, we're literally going from being to having and sustaining, Taurus. And then we go from Gemini to being able to perceive the immediate environment, the phenomenal reality. That's what the Gemini archetype represents, guys. So when you're able to receive, perceive, and see and communicate, interact with the reality, with the environment, what's the highest manifestation of that? Relating your interaction and philosophy and perspective to other people. And that really creates philosophy, I should say. You take your personal one, you take it to others, then you start to form a doctrine, then you start to form a school of thought, and then you start to form principles, then you start to see things work in practice, then you start to see a higher order of things. And that's what Sagittarius is all the fuck about, guys. These two signs, and I really reflect it to the whole mutable cross, reflect learning in general. The phenomenon we refer to as learning. That's that shit. Are you guys learning something here today? Because this is that shit right here, okay? And what does this mean? Unlearning and relearning is the theme of this full fucking moon, guys. I'm gonna repeat that shit. Unlearning and relearning is the theme of this moon. What things have you acquired from your life? Thoughts, emotions, beliefs, paradigms, worldviews, complexes that you need to release that don't serve your best and highest good. Get out of the box that you've made for yourself, the one that the world has made for you. For the Pluto Sag and everybody listening, let me tell you guys, evolution is the only solution and self-mastery is the only success. So you have to commit to being your best. Nothing else fucking matters in this life, guys. I'm telling you. All right? And life is a journey. Success is a journey. That's beautiful. That's cute. That's haha. But I'm telling you, focus on where the fuck you're going. For you to be success, you have to know where the fuck you're going. And this can get real existential up here, y'all. So I want to say you're not meant to have all the fucking answers. Therefore, if you had all the answers, if you already had all the experiences, there'd be no point of existence. That's why we descend into being. That's why we're on Earth right now, flying through the fucking solar system at alarming speeds. And shit just seems to be accelerating, in my opinion. I don't want to project that needlessly to y'all because your time is your time and you're the master of your reality. And time is a flexible substance that bends to your will and perception. So remember, you're on your own timing, all right? Straight up. So what I'm also seeing is communication blockages being removed for a lot of people, all right? And do you guys want a full moon breakdown for this one? We've been doing those pretty consistently, and I'm down to clown if you guys want it. I think it could help the world. I don't see why not. But keep in mind this also, we got the sun conjunct all those other planets, Jupiter and Venus. So, auspicious blessings may come as a result of what happens during this lunation cycle. And what does that mean? Good things are coming. Hey, get excited, guys. Life is beautiful. Life can give you blessings. And when you realize that life is a gift and operate through the attitude of gratitude, things can become a lot better for you, truly. Okay? Not just the law of attraction, the power of personal magnetism. You get me? So your world is yours, and don't underestimate what a little bit of faith can really do for your experience. That's what that talks about. So basically on the 23rd, I'm gonna pull up my calendar just to give you the actual day of the week. Yeah, that's gonna be Thursday in the morning. We're going to have this full moon. And then for the rest of the week, we're going to be waning out and releasing. So just understand, we're pushing forward for the first couple of days, but this is going to lead us into a deep cycle of release. And you're going to see, I don't mean to just give people vague optimism. Again, your life is what you make it. You could take in all this information and not benefit from it. I'm not the one to judge you, by the way, but I could also say that you could really apply all this information and meet your life with full conscious awareness and integrity. And then if you were the latter person, what you would end up receiving from this full moon, because let me just be clear, guys, what I'm genuinely saying is in life, not everybody's gonna fucking make it, dude. Not everybody's your friend. You're not meant to be everybody's friends. There is a universal consciousness thing and the world is elevating, but a lot of these humans can't rise above the illusion of separateness. Do you hear what I'm saying? There's one being, one consciousness running through all of our bodies. What's up, dude? Good to see me. Hi, thanks for liking the video. I appreciate it. Shit's a trip, man. And it's like, it's one thing to know that, and it's another thing to operate through that consciousness and to take actions aimed at the best and highest good of all. And what does that mean? With the least harm to all for the greater good, the highest benefit. A lot of people lack the capacity to think critically or govern their own actions. So I'm telling you guys, a lot of people, they might be good, kind-hearted people, they might be nice people, they might be law-abiding citizens, but they're fucking roaches. And they don't uphold their morals and boundaries. They fall short of their ethical requirements every day, aka criminals that are good law-abiding citizens. Fuck no. You got to be able to realize this shit, man. And sometimes, the society, police, whatever state doesn't warrant you to really call these people out as criminals, but you got to fucking distance yourself, and then you got to speak the truth to them and hold people accountable for their actions, dude. All right. Sometimes the boundary itself is just remove a person from your life and let the truth out. Because once again, Pluto Aquarius, guys, personal evolution is the only solution and self-mastery is the only success. Consider the vibrations raised. And I want to shout out Shiki Chic. Your world is yours. Iman Maki's been dropping gems on me. You got to find teachers in this life. Wes Watson, Tony Robbins, Derek Grace. I'll give you a long list of people that have inspired me whenever my life has been despondent, hopeless, and had no fucking meaning or devoid of anything good. I've been able to look to people that were above me. I've been able to be stuck in my own thoughts, my own Gemini, and be like, okay, wow, there's a higher order of things. So just choose to be inspired, choose to let things motivate you, choose to let things uplift you, and choose to perceive life as good. Man, life is what you create, or you are creating the life on some level. You have the conscious ability to create, do you not? So therefore, you are the creator. So that's the thing, man, is you can go through some fucked up shit in this life, but at the end of the day, there is this blurry create/co-creation line. And ultimately, life is a gift. It's something that you were given. So while you might not enjoy every experience, you can rise above it with a good perspective. And that's the meaning of the message. Okay, guys? Hope I didn't lose anybody through all the words in the volume. Because man, this shit's real. All right. And let's talk about Mercury. Talk about how we're talking. I mean, it should make sense, doesn't it? That's Mercury Taurus. Make it make sense. It's a Mercury Taurus week. Sheesh. Okay, guys, and this is kind of funny. Speaking about the moon, just for one sec, I was just kind of tracking it as I was moving up the week. You will see the moon bright and shiny. I'm telling you, she's going to be at her best. And then as she wanes out, she's going to conjunct the Pluto, so we're going to get that new Pluto cycle this week as well. So emotional rebirth is coming, guys, and that's what's up. Check your chart, see what house the full moon lands in, and then you're going to see what you're going to be releasing more specifically, okay? Like I said, mutable signs are going to have this hit a little deeper in their angular houses. So we got Mercury in Taurus all week, guys. Mercury is starting at 8 degrees, and then it's going to make its way into about the 19th degree. And the real cool thing to note is that Mercury is applying to Uranus. Mercury in Taurus is about making it make sense, thinking, communicating, analyzing in a way that's stable, practical, grounded. Okay? And Taurus places a great emphasis on correctness and integrity and truth. No fucking bullshit. No pun intended. I'm telling y'all, that's the archetype. All right. It's saying appeal to my logic, appeal to the world, appeal to rationality in the empirical thought process, or else I ain't got no fucking idea what the hell you're talking about, man. That's what it is. So aspects, what do we got? We kicked off this week with opposition between Mercury and the moon. And that's emotional release, communicating our feelings, things of that nature. I appreciate you guys and all the love on my recent post. We got Mercury making a semi-square to Neptune on Friday. And that just looks like kind of getting deep in the water. Seeing that higher order of things, right after that full moon breaks. Don't get too lost in the sauce. It could be a good journaling day or a good day to watch a movie and kind of just let being engaged in something connect you to the greater all. All right. And that's Saturday as well. That's going to be separating out. Yep. So about Friday, Saturday. And then, like I said, we're going to have a sextile to Saturn, but more importantly, the application to Uranus. We'll talk about the latter next week, but it's a nice, stable, grounded energy, guys, and it's great to build. So organization could be a good theme for this week. I don't think it's ever a bad theme for any week, if I'm just being frank, but you're going to notice this happening consciously or unconsciously. It's just going to be what it is. So Venus is making a transition. Let's talk about this one because this is a really hot topic. So, Venus is going to talk about how we connect and love and value things and what's going to be fun / enjoyable, right? So Taurus is her home and life is beautiful. Life is great. And I hope everybody is receiving the gifts that life has to offer, enjoying your life, enjoying your time, being patient as well, slowing down a little bit so you can really experience more joy, not to be in so much of a rush, because this is a beautiful thing, Venus in her home sign. But the thing that's really pressing, no bullshit, no pun intended, she's sandwiched between two planets that are very high octave, high vibration. So Uranus is on one side elevating electrically the love nature that we all have, our values, kind of making fast changes in the money situations in a lot of our lives as well. A lot of ways to see this. The further out you get, we can talk about these transits cross culturally, but we got Venus transiting Jupiter too. So, there's a new cycle beginning here as well, where Venus Jupiter will bring expansion and more meaning to our love lives, to how we value ourselves, how we appreciate life in general, guys. And this is also going to give us a desire to give and seek deeper meaning within our relationships. So that's beautiful. And like I said, guys, if you're not growing, you're dying. So personal evolution is key. And you're going to have to really recognize who's down for the act, who's committed to the act, who's committed to the bit, and who's walking the walk, who just says shit and doesn't really be about it, and who's doing it. Surround yourself with winners, man, because not everybody is really going to be congruent to your mission. And it takes some knowledge and understanding how to be a good friend. And I had got a download recently, like, I want to write another book about how to be a good friend. Oh my goodness. See, she almost burned herself. I'm not gonna let her do that. Synchronicity. It is hard to have friends in this life. It's hard to connect. And a lot of us don't have the guidelines, principles, and structure, maybe, to do that. And I just know that I've had a lot of friends in my life, and I'm a very emotional, intuitive person and an intellectual person. So I think I'd be one of the best people to write that book. So, Gemini's filling my mind with ideas. My 10th house is lit right now. I digress. But Venus in Gemini is a change. So that's where this conversation is going. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. Because that's why I start with a structure. Sometimes my Leo Mercury can kind of get off track, so we have an itinerary. You're going to see on Friday, Venus Day. To be specific, Venus is moving into Gemini. And what's that mean? Our love nature switches. I think you guys know this so well. I'm hoping that the ones who follow so intently could even do their own breakdown. And the world needs better astrologers too, man. So whoever feels called, start posting that content. Venus and Gemini told you to do it. So did the sun. Said, go express that shit, man. When the sun and Venus connect, that gives Leo Venus energy. Or it would give Mercury Leo energy. Either way you want to see it. That's like, let me express this shit. Let me create some shit. I need to articulate my inner being. That's what's up. So, Venus in Gemini adds this stimulation to the way that we connect and relate to other people. So things are going to get more fun and exciting in your life, and that's pretty cool. And I encourage everybody to embrace it, because me personally, I don't want to get too personal a lot of times. I got too many Cancer planets, but like too shy. But I'm going to tell you guys that I'm realizing I'm going to just say it and not beat around the bush. I suck at having fun, guys. Like, you have to admit where you're deficient in order to grow. I'm embarrassed to say it, but I just suck at having fun. I have a decent amount of it, but I deny myself the pleasure of fun a lot of times. Weak ass Saturn Taurus fears, but it's something we're realizing and working through. So I'm seeing this transit come through my energy body so personally, and I'm so excited because we're gonna get the Venus trine Pluto energy, evolving our love, evolving our even ability to receive, adding the actual energy of love and joy and life into our bodies and experiences. It's a recycling of the old When we talk about Pluto, Venus, this is talking about regeneration energies. Really fucking cool. So a lot of the skeletons in people's closets, the ghosts from the past, the haunting memories, fears, etc., the power control issues or confusions, these things are going to kind of fade a little bit this week too, man, with this full moon, lunation and ingresses and stuff. This is going to be dope, dude. So I just encourage everybody to really receive this beautiful trine we got going on. The love in your life. Do something in the name of love this week, guys. Whether that's lighting a candle or taking a bath or, you know, writing a love letter or sending a nice text or doing something charitable, doing something generous, creating something, having fun, indulging in a hobby. That's really what I'm seeing this week is like, hey, man, your world is yours and your life is your own. It's important to do your great work as well, but ultimately you got to kind of trust those impulses and what life is leading you towards, your own curiosities and eccentricities. Those uniquenesses are what makes you special, and that's what adds significance to all of life, right? So that's what I'm saying is not just for some flippant woo woo kumbaya, go get you some love type energy. I'm telling you, no, this actually elevates the world straight up. Some people, like myself included, I've been speaking from experience, you kind of assume that love or fun or the good things in life, the gratification itself is the issue, and it's not always, you know. So this is what I'm like called to say. Why can't you just let life be good? That's my question to myself, bro. Why can't you just let life be good, bro? Damn. Sometimes you got to teach yourself how to love. You got to teach yourself how to interact, or you got to get kind of like clear about how you do it. And let me tell you this, guys, Gemini is Mercury once again. So when it comes to this Gemini energy, that's the real theme right now. It's thinking about like, how do I love? How do I interact? How do I create? Start asking a lot of questions, guys. My best advice for everybody watching this video, if you took, I said a lot already, guys. If you only take one thing from this video, I hope you take this. Remember this shit, guys. We all need to ask better questions. And that doesn't need to be taken personally. It doesn't need to be as an attack or a judgment, but just understand that our life is basically limited by the questions we're willing to ask ourselves, because we're only ever going to be aware of what we're consciously aware of. And we're going to have to break our cycles of unconsciousness willfully or unconsciously. So the point I'm trying to say, man, you're only as intelligent as your degree to be able to assess your ineptitudes and what you're not aware of. So ultimately, the best way to do that as a human, your best method of conscious control to solve this blindness is to ask better questions. All right. Consider the vibrations raised, man. That's that shit. And the crazy thing about metaphysics is that the moment you ask a question, the answer already exists in the universe. So the challenge I'm seeing in my life and many others' lives, maybe everybody's life, perhaps, you guys let me know how you resonate. The challenge is listening to your own fucking voice, blocking out the noise, discerning between what you send and receive. Who the fuck am I? Do I exist? Yes, I do. I'm telling you, you exist. We exist. All right. Life doesn't really have anything to do with existence. So wrap your head around that too. I'm just trying to illustrate the gift, y'all. So let's talk about Mars, because I think we've highlighted the Venus and Gemini energy. But one thing my heart wants to say in the transition from Mars to Venus is like, hey, if we can't communicate our wants and our needs and our expectations, it's going to be very difficult and maybe even impossible sometimes for us to actually receive that shit. All right. So that's what that's about. All right. And we're going to have Mars in Aries all week, like we were talking about, guys. It's going to start at about 16 and end at about 21. Chiron is going to move back to 22. So what's that mean? Mars is in the domicile as well. Mars is home is what I mean. Domicile is such a fucking antiquated word. Like, oh, dude, can you guys give me a more verbose synonym for domicile? Leave it in the comments if you don't mind, because I'm blanking. I don't want to sit here and think in front of you too long. But Mars is the masculine energy. It's how we will, it's how we drive, and how we push our energy into the world. What motivates us, what desires we have. and how we take action. All right. So Mars in Aries is a natural phenomenon, which says that action happens instantaneously, instinctively. How does anything else act? Think about like a dog or a cat or a rat or a tree or a bean sprout. Man, these things operate instinctively. The actions they take are encoded in their DNA. Yes or no? Does that make sense? Are we seeing that? Did we learn that in biology, chemistry, physics, etc.? In our public education slash child indoctrination forced whatever camp? Fuck school, man. That comes from my Pluto Sagittarius heart. My fucking okay. Love school, love education, but sometimes fuck the public education system. I'm a homeschool my kids, man, personally, but I digress. That's not really the no, I got a Mars Cancer. That came from my heart. Mars just needed to say that shit. Yeah, you bet your ass, man. That's where that came from. Mars square my natal Mars. But all right, let's lock back in. Mars in Aries is fun. It's exciting. It gives us this burst of energy and a desire to really drive forward, not to be redundant or just repetitive, but you got to just start to see these things as archetypes and start to recognize that the characters have different scenes and being able to interpret the language of astrology. It'll really read out to you like an English book or a French book or a Spanish book or whatever you read, whatever language lexicon you're working with, your vernacular, your no, not your nomenclature. That's loosely related to what I'm saying, but you see, I got Pluto in the third. I'm just trying to flex my intellect right now. Sagittarius is a motherfucker, yo. So I hope you understand and see that too. All these motherfuckers are motherfuckers, but this motherfucker right here, this Mars shit, this Mars bitch, just doesn't give a fuck. Ask Mars if it gives a fuck. It's not even gonna reply. It's not. It has no fucks to give. It's not even gonna fucking give a fuck. Just is what it is. And we just had Mars transit over the North Node. And that's a little bit more of a serious conversation, guys. Mars North Node conjunction talks about full speed ahead or cutting out the bullshit. This is our karmic direction in all of our lives. The North Node and the South Node, these axis of points, really reflects the direction of our solar system. And it's a connection in time and space. That's what a node is. It's not a physical thing that's moving around the sky. It's the intersection of the moon's plane of orbit around the earth and the sun's plane of orbit. When these things intersect, aka an eclipse, the node is formed, and then we can mathematically average the eclipse pairs and where they end up transiting, and then we form that node calculation. So there's a couple ways to calculate. We're not going to get too deep into that, but the point is, guys, that like the solar system, we've been having this intergalactic conversation, guys. The solar system is moving around. Not only is the sun moving around, the earth is moving around. It's all moving around. But the real key point, guys, was that the sun is moving. We know all this stuff, but I'm just going to repeat that because it's the takeaway. The sun is moving and the solar system is moving. Whoa, can everybody slow the fuck down? Like, this shit is crazy. It's literally going insane. Like, can we get a break? And the answer is no, because of the principle of vibration. Everything vibrates, nothing rests. Could I get a rest? Can you just give it a rest already? Can you give me a fucking break? No. God said no. God's a dickhead programmer, but this is what I learned. God said, well, fuck you then. And here's why. Because if you don't like it, go build your own. And you can try and try and try and try to build your own metaphysics and laws of the universe. But let me be clear, guys. This is the painful truth I had to swallow. Is this not my job, or it's not existence or life's job? Let me say this: to have nature bend to my will or conform to me. My job is to conform to nature and then succeed under those conditions. I'm not meant to change nature. All right. So natural law, Sagittarius energy. God said, well, fuck you then. You guys should look at the pin video, because that's what it looks like whenever you're asking God to change the parameters of the natural laws. He says, you don't even got $3? Damn. All right. But I went off in a la la land, man. Mercury in the 12th over here. So My best advice for everybody as we're talking about the rest of these planets, because we're going to close the gap and I'm just going to really not add too much fluff to this, man. Learn yourself, know yourself, because if you don't know yourself, you can't know a goddamn thing in this world. All right. So my challenge to you, you just received a quest. You see my blinking light, dude. That's what happens when you talk to the avatar with the blinking light. He gives you a quest. Your quest right now is to figure out your Mercury sign, figure out the Mercury house and the Mercury aspects. And if you're really a baller, you're going to find the Mercury phases with the other planetary pairs. And I'm talking, is your Mercury new, full, disseminating, balsamic? Which one is it? What does that mean about you? What cycles are you learning mentally in your life on an evolutionary level? Progression, transit, composite, progression, local transits. Are you fucking kidding me? Does this make any sense? Link in the bio, simplifiedastrology.com, and break it down for you step by step. So Mars is getting pretty serious, man. Let me tell you that. It's important to have fun in life. Like a big part of our conversation was around, but it is important to really be present and not asleep at the wheel. A lot of people do not realize that they are creators, so that they abdicate or neglect this power and project it on others or the world at large. And then these people end up feeling like victims of the life that they inadvertently created slash didn't create for themselves. You hear this? That can't be you. You have too much intellect, too much talent and skill to let life pass you by and die with regrets and flippant dreams that you could have chased. Big, powerful dreams that you decided to be flippant about. Fuck all that bullshit, man. And there's a lot of healing when it comes to this thing. And I want everybody to know that, like, while it hurts to take negative reinforcement and to be told you got to lock in and do better, some of us really do appreciate that reinforcement nonetheless. But I will just say that a big part of this comes of and revolves around trauma, pain, the inability to feel negative energy. Trauma, sometimes trauma is not even about, your choices, your character, the caliber of you. Sometimes things just surpass our fucking limits, y'all. So, like, this is where the empathy comes in. We have to dial back our empathy for people that aren't actually suffering but claim to be. And you probably see this in your life, man. A lot of people just bitch and complain. This is what I was just talking about, man. It's a lack of knowledge, a lack of self-awareness, a lack of principles, a lack of guidance. And it's not a lack of information. These people fucking claim that they just don't have the knowledge, the information, the education to better themselves. If you're on the fucking internet, you have too many opportunities, too much knowledge to have this many fucking excuses. Straight up. Fuck the bullshit excuses. Fuck your life if that's how you really feel about it. Damn. So you gotta heal. We all gotta heal. I feel like the most broken person on the inside, man. And this has been one of my lowest days, but it's not about how I feel in this life. It's about the gift that life is. It's about the opportunity to give. And when you really reach that level of consciousness, the independent will to give, you'll really have arrived because you create the full circle with the co-creator. You understand? Straight up, man. You're not supposed to take all the steps yourself. You take a step, let God take a step. Just trust your higher self. Trust your inner vision. You're not going to have all the answers, man. And that's the beauty of life. But I'm telling you guys, the healing more specifically revolves around identity. Is like, I can speak personally as a very broken feeling person. A lot of this is going to revolve around how the fuck do you see yourself? Who do you think you are? Do you have pride in yourself? Do you have pride in your name? And pride is considered a deadly sin to some degrees. So I'm going to just encourage you to use reverence with this conversation and use your own intellect and don't believe messages that don't empower you and think for yourself. And I would encourage you to be very much more proud of yourself than ashamed of yourself. If you had to really polarize the two and had to pick one, you'd get way more done. You'd serve way more people from a place of strength than a place of fucking weakness. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of who the hell you are and your independent will to give and your strength and your love. And acknowledge that shit in the mirror. Look yourself in the eyes, the windows to your soul, and tell yourself by name, you fucking matter. And I see you and I fucking care about you. And I know you're a great person and you are changing the world and you'll change it even fucking more. Mark my words. Make a commitment to yourself. Thank yourself for all the love you give yourself, y'all, because for you to even be sitting here talking to some weird ass dude on the internet with a flame, you clearly care about yourself enough to elevate up to a cosmic level, you know? And that takes a little bit of love, doesn't it? It does. It does. I just saw a text from my favorite person, so a lot of love. It does take a lot of love. In this world will heal when you heal yourself, guys. That's the beauty of this conversation, because I always want people to take in my knowledge that I have and my perspectives and feel good. Life isn't always about feeling good, but we could do better in the feeling regard. And a lot of that revolves around perspective and attitude. So I hope you also understand that as we do some of the more difficult work, the self-love and self-introspection and even, trauma release and psychosomatic purge, you're actually going to lighten up the world. So that's one way to take pride. Pride isn't everything my Leo ass is really trying to sell y'all on pride, is what I feel like. But, that's where the heart comes from, like your self-centered. There's a difference between being an egotist and an egoist, man. And some people are so afraid of their power, they reject everybody having an ego, including themselves. And that's a really thinly veiled form of deeply embedded self-hatred. Let me be very clear, guys. If you see anybody operating under the belief system that the ego is something that needs to be killed off or denigrated, that person actually hates themselves. And they may be projecting this outwardly as a form of morality or justification for their actions, but that person actually is deeply suffering, okay? Your ego is something you need. It's going to help you succeed. It's going to help you live. You can't live without it. You as a human are blessed with superior intellect over all the other beings in this world. And the only way you're able to access that conscious control is through the ego. The way that you formulate, receive, and interpret thought consciously. You hear me? Straight up, guys. This Gemini season is about to bless a bunch of people, I'm telling you. Because your mind is your most powerful tool. You just have to recognize that your mind is everything. All is mind. First Hermetic principle. All right. And we're going to be healing the world, man, just by stepping into our power. And with more self-awareness comes more responsibility. Freedom comes with a price, guys. For a lot of people, freedom seems like the absence of responsibility, being able to do whatever the fuck you want whenever you want. And that's not what freedom is. No, when you have more conscious awareness, you have more conscious control. If you knew better, you do better. You have more information now. You have different decisions, different outcomes. You have different options from the same scenario. So straight up, y'all, when you choose the path of evolution and ascendancy, you actually are going to be held in a higher ethical, moral, and spiritual regard and require more self-fucking control. Does this make sense? Because it should empower you. This should make you very fucking happy to succeed and lead and to help others reach a higher plane of consciousness and existence. Simple as this, man. Superior habits, superior lifestyle. Inferior habits, inferior fucking lifestyle. And it's that simple. A lot of us know what we need to change our lives. We just simply don't do it. We overly invest in our detriment, and then we want to negotiate our betterment. And it's fucked up, and it's not going to help us. And not everybody's going to fucking make it to where they want to go. This is like, I think, a Dickens quote or something like that. But the masses basically live quiet lives of despair and then die with a song still in their heart. And that's not what I want for any of my family. To live a life unfulfilled and devoid of purpose, feeling like you lack the awareness or recognition from your creator. Fuck that. Bro, that's a deep level of suffering. And I care enough to make this video to speak on this shit, man. I want people to find deep meaning in this life and know that on a cosmic level, they're connected to something beautiful. All right. So we got Jupiter making a huge transition, because Jupiter has a 12-year cycle, guys. Every year, Jupiter will go through a different zodiac sign. So we just ended about a year of Jupiter Taurus, and we're going to see Jupiter make its way to Gemini on, drum roll please, Sunday or Monday. Hold up. Sunday. Yeah. Over the weekend, let's say. And then we got a whole year of it. So like, don't get too worried about the details. You're not going to miss it. You're going to have a whole year to enjoy this. But Jupiter is the biggest planet, and this really is the ruler of Sagittarius. So with the depth and breadth of this conversation, you should very well understand the energy of Jupiter. But let's review for one sec, just so everybody's on the same page. And this is the planet ruling over Pisces as well. So this will foreshadow the next planet. So by the way, Jupiter with the biggest size governs magnitude as a concept, as an archetype, things that are large. So when this shows up in anybody's life or in transit, it's going to govern a high sense of meaning. And truly, this is the archetype of meaning. Gemini, Mercury, is thought, it's left brain, it's intellect. And then Jupiter, the right brain, is more so about intuition, cosmology, connection, worldview, frame of reference. You understand? So Jupiter is more feminine, and this shows us how we receive the energy of the cosmos, the higher order of life. Jupiter is the learning planet, the teaching planet. And I think we all basically get the full picture. So this change is going to really accelerate a lot of things for us, guys. The focus of the last year, Jupiter Taurus, let's review. That's getting stable, getting grounded, and also just trying to have a more happy, fruitful, and productive life. And you'll also see that the theme of that last year might have been centered heavily on the material and the money and the stability. And even if it didn't play out materialistically, it's going to be those intangible qualities of life that a lot of people are seeking out the most: the joy, the happiness, the peace, the fulfillment, etc. All right. So now here's the difference, is that when we go into the year of Jupiter Gemini, what we're going to be seeing is that ultimately there is a deeper need, a desire, an intuitive pull even to interact, to connect, to communicate, to be interested in people and ideas, and to share them with the world. Jupiter will show what we want to give. Okay. Because we talk about this being luck and blessings. Guys, think about this. While Jupiter gives out luck and blessings, always, every day, you look in the fucking sky, Jupiter is going to be there. What determines how the luck and blessings are distributed? This is the question. Asking better questions. What determines that shit, man? It's actually going to be who's willing to correspond with these fucking energies. All right. So for you to receive the blessings of Jupiter, you ultimately have to lean into this energy and give. And I will just say, whether you're aware of this or not, everybody will be blessed with understanding through Jupiter's domain. But if you're unconsciously aware of the Jupiter Gemini transit, you're going to see yourself being very fucking nervous and getting on your own nerves as well, and others, being just irritated as fuck, kind of rejecting new information and meaning, and ultimately trying to guide and guard your perceptions through self-justification and avoidance, aka weakness, inferiority, and just being a lazy bitch, a lazy fucking bitch. And I'm tired of holding back my truth and how I really fucking feel, being a lazy bitch. You got to be willing to learn. And if you're still listening, I doubt that was for you, but like, hey, if it was for you, just appreciate the reality check and keep moving with a smile, because I love you still. And I love myself enough to tell myself I'm being a bitch, man. And for some people, you know, that refuse changes and say that's too self-denigrating and you're not doing anything with your life, fuck you. Just because it's fuck your life doesn't mean fuck mine. You know, we got to control our conduct. And I'm telling you guys, if you choose not to learn, you're choosing to be ignorant and you're choosing to be regressive. Learning means that you get different outcomes in the same experience. So I never intended this one to be very deeply intellectual, but this is some Gemini energy, guys. So that's really the key. That's the mark, the indicator of success when it comes to this next year is, are you fucking learning? Straight up. You know, so I don't know what you guys are going through personally in your fourth house and your full moon cycle, etc. But I will just say that this year is going to be full of blessings for those who want to learn and have a deeper understanding of life, and also just want to be more involved and interactive with life. This is going to be the time to do it. This is going to be very blessed. And communicate, share your message. I'm going to do my best to shut up and just be about it and just be more consistent. We're 50 weeks in this podcast, y'all, but you're going to see me posting more content. You already are. And I'm just tired of not reaching my potential and not giving what I know I can. So, you know, forget what I said. Just watch me. Jupiter Gemini says, the gift is your voice, guys. Find your voice. Share your voice. Share your truth. Recognize that just by speaking the words of your heart, you can change the frequency of others in the world at large. The universe can elevate by you being authentic. All right. And that's the beauty here, guys. This world needs your truth. This world needs your voice in order to elevate. Okay. So this is about being more conscious. Writing things down as well is going to be very good for us to understand how we converse with ourselves and how we interpret life in the environment. And we got to learn how to start directing energies in our environment and programming energies into our environment so the programs of the environment don't condition and control us. You hear that twice if you need to, man. That's the key. Saturn in Pisces is really the next conversation, guys, because we'll talk about Jupiter more and more every single day. We do this as we see what is going on with the transits and such. And I do want to show you that Jupiter will also make the trine to Pluto, guys. And that's a really beautiful thing. You know, the Sun, the Venus, and the Jupiter are going to make the trine to Pluto this week. So before Saturn Pisces, just understand that the power is given. That's as simple as that, man. The more you look at life with positivity, and some people don't really understand what positivity is. Some people think positivity, they confuse positivity with pleasantry, and that's not the same thing. What you got to understand is that positivity is an unconscious assumption that life is good. It's not just, oh man, I have to be happy about every fucking thing that happens to me. No, this is positivity is about being able to walk into the fucking darkness, confront the depths, go to hell and back and be like, well, I've experienced this and it's all right. Still, life is still good. It's not about hiding from your bullshit. It's not about sweeping things under the rug. It's about embracing life to the fullest because you have the faith, the inner conviction, the unconsciously deeply embedded assumption that life is good, you are good, and you are safe. There's a higher order of things and you're taken care of in the cosmic scene. That's what I'm talking about. So Jupiter, Gemini, trine Pluto, Aquarius. Your gift is humanity. Your gift is elevating the frequency of others by tuning into your unique rhythm. You hear me? Don't underestimate the power of a gift. When you feel at your lowest and most broken, give to somebody and see what that does. Shout out to Tony Robbins for putting me on that trick because that's really sick in the best way. It's tubular, it's radical, it's wicked. You get me? No, but I'm telling you, when you feel like you have nothing left to give, if you can just really put yourself in the frame of mind of how could I help somebody, I promise you'll feel better. If you can actually do it, I promise you'll feel better. Let's talk about Saturn Pisces now, man. And just understand that this is the gatekeeper, the final destination, if you really think about it. So people really do want to pay more attention to this fucking planet and listen to the messages that it brings, man. Because in life, everything is balanced. Everything is in order. Believe it or not, divine order exists. Like, I know we can cuss out the programmer of the game and the map and the matrix. Things seem to be glitching out. And maybe there are some operational variables that don't make the most sense. But trust me, guys, the universe is balanced in divine order. For there to be order and there to be divinity in anything, you got to recognize that you're always connected to the all. We're getting further out there, man. This is Pisces, but this should make a lot of sense, all right? When you look at Saturn's energy, Saturn's transit, Saturn is the final planet you can see without the telescope. So just understand that this will correspond directly to our limitations in the physical world and the construct of time. The construct of time, guys. I'm serious. And let me draw the connection for those that don't quite see it right now. I'm talking about this is the last visible planet. We made our calendars off of astrology. This is governing time. This is the final wandering star. The ancient astrologers used this as a frame of reference for their calendars, right? More so the sun and the moon, but I'm telling you, this was a factor. So Saturn directly talks about time, all of its usefulness and its restrictions. And ultimately, this interplays intrinsically with the law of cause and effect because time and energy are linked. Time and energy are linked. Time is always going on at any moment, aka existence, and energy is everything. So never in any moment will you not be spending time or energy. That's what we're talking about here, okay, guys? So when Saturn transits so slowly throughout the wheel, about 28 years to go around the sun, you're going to see it go through every sign about 3 years per sign. And Saturn is going to give us an opportunity to master something. So in addition to this being the boundary of our vision and how we see the phenomenal objective reality and build a society and trust and believe that reality is based on agreement. What is real? Define real. Is it something you can perceive, something you believe in, something you experienced? What's real to you? What's your reality? So on a very simple definition, a lot of people could say reality is based on agreement. And that might not even really define it still, but that's the conversation we're having is what is going on in the fucking world right now, y'all. A lot of weirdo shit. And Saturn rules Pluto. So this is foreshadowing once again. And I'm going to try to keep this concise, but this seems like I'm really going for length here. I'm not. I'm just trying to really articulate the points. I want these podcasts to be under 2 hours. I think we're still good, basically, because I value your time and my time, but this is just the work, guys. The great work. Saturn rules and governs our responsibility. It talks about the highest use, the mastery of our time and energy. All right. And the challenge here is Pisces, the final sign of the zodiac. And Pisces corresponds with a lot of phenomenons. the archetype of spirit, disillusion or dissolving, sublimating back into the whole. Pisces is our empathy, how we can feel and how we can connect, and how we also perceive a universal order of things. This is the feminine side of Jupiter, the masculine sign being Sagittarius. Once again, so Pisces talks about what are we supposed to give? What's our belief system about? Our sacrifices in life. Why do we suffer? Why do we hurt? Is there a God? That's what Pisces is about. That's that main line to the divine. How we think about it, how we connect to it. Our concept of divinity is Pisces. So while there's a lot of religious, spiritual reformation going on interpersonally and socially, you're also going to see that with the way that this planet operates, Saturn, a lot of people are getting a good shot, a one-on-one, a bird's eye view, or a deep stare at their fears, their psychological fears, their ineptitudes, their lack of faith of life. And that latter is a little bit more serious, but I will just say that this is really making us all confront the reality of our paradigms, the reality of our belief systems, that the things that we assume to be true, that we project into the world without thought, without conscious awareness, is what creates our reality. You know that your thoughts govern and influence your feelings, which modify, shape, and coerce your results, which formulate your habits, and that creates your lifestyle. And a lot of people can be deeply embedded and entrenched into habits and then, lack the conscious awareness and even the strength to interrupt them, these motherfuckers, man. So that's deep. But it's just important to note, here's the point, guys, that shit actually is modified by your assumptions about life, the ways that you're influenced by life. And a lot of this is going to be, for a lot of this to actually be changed, for you to do something about it, because I can already hear in my empathy, my intuition, people like, what do I do about it though? And you're right to ask. Like, what you do about it is you understand the messages of the spirit. What you do is understand the language of spirit, of the unconscious mind, the subconscious mind, the mutable cross, And what am I talking about? The message here, guys, is that your subconscious mind uses symbols to communicate. Try to transcend language on some level just to read and perceive energies. Let energy be a language in itself and take the time to master energy, master empathy, master emotions. And, there's a lot to get into with this one, man. And it needs conscious awareness and everybody to participate in the work and know and understand that Saturn is a collective responsibility, especially with Pluto and Aquarius. Is going to be highlighted that it's the age of responsibility. And I'm telling you guys once again, that there's higher orders of things. So while we can look at even the Pluto transit, which is a 250-year cycle, when we talk about the sun cycle around the galactic center, that shit's about 24,000 years, y'all. So that starts talking about eons and ages and huge intergalactic shifts. But more specifically, focus on the planet we're on. I'm talking age of Aquarius, guys. Like, no pseudo shit about this. Do the math, look at it with your own fucking eyes and just see. It's the age of Aquarius. And what that means is the age of elevating humanity. And where we come from is Pisces. So, think about the past and think about the linear progression of the world right now, y'all. To be an astrologer, you have to be somewhat of a historian. Where we come from is a hypnotic spell of mass religious indoctrination on so many levels. And we still see religious wars happening to this fucking day, guys. And this is unacceptable. We're living through repeats of the dark ages, y'all. It's bull fucking shit. It's the information age, but right now it's kind of playing out like the distraction age. So you'll see that, as we continue to globalize and advance technologically, we are going to ascend into the internet, into the mental plane, and transcend the body on some level and start to have different development and control over even our genetics, our nervous system, and ultimately the caliber of our soul. So I'm telling y'all guys, shit is about to get really fucking weird on Earth over the next 20 years. And it's up to you to find freedom in your mind and develop the strength of your soul. Realize the strength of your mind, your perceptions, your emotions, your actions. So you don't be a slave in this fucking system. You hear me? We need a system. We need a matrix for this world to be this way. Because a lot of us can feel kind of entitled and ungrateful for the life we live and say, I didn't choose to be born here and I didn't want to be in this game of making money and paying bills and dying. Fuck you. Do you want to go build Starbucks? Do you want to build a Walmart? I didn't fucking think so. So quit being lazy and unfucking grateful, dude. This is a message to me as well. So don't shoot the messenger. I don't hate you. I love you enough to do this shit. It's like you got to call yourself on your own bullshit, dude. This world is privileged and blessed, no matter how fucking marginalized and systemically corrupt your experience has been. For real, dude. If you're on the internet, you have too much potential and opportunity to have excuses. Straight up, it's as simple as that, y'all. So you either find freedom through your mind or you try to find freedom from your mind. You abdicate responsibility and you end up punishing others because of your weaponized negligence, aka incompetence. So let's not do that. Let's remember we are conscious creators, that we control our reality. That doesn't mean we control others. That doesn't mean we manipulate the world and nature to bend to our will. But if it harms none, we do what we will. And that's the read about it. All right. And I hope this fills somebody with hope today as well. Hope this fills somebody with joy today and help them realize, like, yo, this might be the most shit painting or movie I've ever seen, but I'm the painter. So fuck this painting. Fuck this movie. Fuck Steven Spielberg. Spielberg? I'm not even hating, man. I'm just using him as an example. Sorry, Steven. I didn't even say his name right, but y'all get the idea. Neptune in Pisces is a cultural shift as well. So we're going to have a Saturn-Neptune conjunction happening within the next year or two. So we'll talk about it when it comes. Pluto in Aquarius is just asking you to really be independent and really be free. Ask yourself what that means to you guys. Everybody has different definitions of a lot of words, but what does it mean to be free? And how do you embrace your sovereignty? And how do you actually share with the world? That's the questions we're getting today. So I hope you benefited from this video, because I've shown you the galactic level and I've showed you the micro level as well. So I don't want to go too far past the diminishing return point. I will just kind of add on to this because I haven't said it yet. Lilith and Neptune are doing some shit. And this is kind of a slower moving thing. So divine feminine uprising. And it's about time. And that doesn't mean, because I can already feel it in the in the left-hand path on the masculine side. The masculine's like, oh no, even some of the women bodies or female identification beings in this world. Good Lord, Mark. Some of these people are scared about the divine feminine uprising. And just understand, when I say that, that doesn't mean denigrating the masculine. I'm talking about rebalancing things. And while a lot of people don't want to look at this scary elephant in the room, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, this patriarchy is kind of fucking shit up. And I'm easing you into this discussion. It's absolutely fucking shit up. Look at Palestine, look at Gaza, look at the Congo, look at all the fucking rapes and sexual traumas and assaults and shit that happens, man. And it's on both sides of the gender spectrum, but I'm just telling you guys, beyond the damage in the tower, you see a lot of just oppression in this world and people trying to dominate with brute force. And only the strong will survive, and that's a beautiful thing about life, whether we like it or not. But I'm just telling you guys, if we're a society, if there is a society, if there is people, if we have all this information, we have all the connection, the resources, we ultimately got to do better, y'all. And in order for us to do this, it kind of goes back to the Mars energy, y'all, and also the Lilith energy. I want to explain this more aptly, but to embrace the masculine in a way that's constructive and responsible. Mars, North Node, Chiron energy. But let's talk about Lilith here, man. The repressed emotion needs to be confronted. And really, it's this pain of being marginalized, or this pain of being subordinated and having to be of service and, once again, subordinated or dominated or forced into servitude. And that just is what it is, man. Like, really, this Lilith and Virgo energy, what I'm feeling in the cosmic level is a lot of people are breaking free from slavery, whether that's like on a physical level or a mental level or both. You're going to be seeing this shit a lot, man. And I love to see it, because I really feel like one of the founding fathers, I've resonated really deep with the sentiment of America, that we all have our right to the pursuit of happiness and liberty and life and all those things, man. So what does that mean, guys? Like, we have an opportunity to earn our keep, and that's what we're entitled to, the opportunity to earn. So Lilith in Virgo is saying, like, get clear about what your great work really is. And sometimes you might have to kind of step aside from the system, the world, the society. You may have to get outside of this bullshit to really ask, what's my point of existence? What's my purpose? What do I do? What do I fulfill in this world specifically? What am I here to do? And fuck what they tell you. Nobody knows you like yourself. Good Lord. Don't let other people with small minds stifle your big dreams, dude. Be your true self, be your authentic self, and the world will thank you for it. I'm telling you guys. Lilith in Virgo says, guys, true service means embracing your true calling. To actually go towards the thing that matters most to you. All right. And when I look at Lilith moving into opposition with Neptune over the next weeks to months, this feels like the world just embracing the need for more compassion. There's a lot of ways to see this, man, because everybody sees life differently. And that always baffles me because ultimately, you guys are drawn to my video because of vibration. And that tells me that there's another type of person that is repulsed by my video, by vibration. So those videos not even going to make it on their feed. And there is, some technical variables in between my exposure scenarios, but you get the point. So Uranus and Taurus, guys, this world is moving really fast. And that's the last planet I'm going to leave you guys off on because I hope you receive the key. I hope you feel elevated. I hope you feel serene this week. Regardless of what your emotions are hitting for, man, just remember, realize in the highest point of your mind, your thoughts matter. Your perspective matters. The messages matter. The truth matters. The truth may hurt, but it will set us free. Love is not equal to lies, and by choosing to deny the truth, we step forth into regression, meaning we step backwards, guys. Evolution is the only solution, and self-mastery is the only success. So say it with me, guys. Consider the vibrations raised. I love your soul, and I hope you felt the warm embrace of my Cancer Mars, Venus / Libra Moon energy. Oh, man. This one was a trip. The moon's in Scorpio, guys. Trying to take life too seriously. Do take it seriously, but just serious enough to be able to confront your life for what it really fucking is and be self-accepting at all times and self-denigrating if you have to be. Or let me say self-deprecating. Denigrating is a little bit more extreme. What I really mean, guys, is like truly be honest with yourself enough to be able to be correctable. That's the last thing I want to say to y'all is like, we are all human. We all make mistakes, and a mistake can either be looked at as, a truly bad thing or an unconscious opportunity to grow or a choice to grow even too. So, wrap your head around that. We will all make mistakes. We will all fall short at times, but when we take responsibility and accountability, we can grow and cause healing in this world. All right. So that's the work. And I hope you are excited to take part in it because to receive blessings in life, you got to give something as well. So you'll only be as blessed as your capacity to give in this life, your willingness to receive as well. All right. All right. You guys take care of yourself. I'll see you soon. Blessed be.